Hello to all our viewers from Singapore. This is your host Arjun Mutreja on Crickstream Live Cricket Show. Today we have with us Mr. Biju Gorge, who's been a fielding coach and coach of the Ranji State team of Kerala since 1991. Someone who's worked with the Indian women's national side for over 5 years, instrumental in taking them to the finals in the 2017 ODI World Cup. Worked with the Kolkata Knight Riders in the IPL and is now the fielding coach of Sunrisers Hyderabad for 2020 IPL season. A big welcome to you, Mr. Biju Gorge.
Thank you so much. Big, lengthy introduction.
You deserve it.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I'm really happy to have you here. I think your story is truly inspiring, not just for cricketers out there, even for coaches. And that's why today's show is for me personally as a coach as well. Is a pleasure to speak to you. On that note, Mr. Biju, I would like to know a bit more of your background. Obviously, knowing that you did not play first-class cricket, but you went on to coach at the highest level of the game. It's not something which is heard of. So we would like to know about your background and how you ended up doing what you've done.
I played only up to university level. At that time, I had to take a call like whether I was good enough to play for India or not. I found that I was not good enough to play for India. Then I decided how best to be in the game and to get somebody to make at least one player play for India. I decided to take up the coaching profession. I did my NIS it's a 1-year diploma course conducted by the Sports Authority of India. I did it in 1990. Then in 2004, I did the level 3. And from there, it has been wonderful by the grace of God.
Absolutely. Your achievements are a proof of that. In the earlier times, a fielding coach was not a concept that was really heard of, I would say. But how did you decide to focus specifically on fielding for so many years that you've been coaching?
In everybody's life, there come some people who will guide you in the right path. When I did my level 3 in 2004, I was fortunate to do it with Bharat Arun. And later on, I became associated with R. Sridhar, who is the current fielding coach for the Indian senior team. And he's one of the best fielding coaches in the world. So after this level 3, BCCI decided to go in for super specialization, like in coaching, like batting, bowling, or fielding. And Bharat Arun sir and Sridhar asked me to take a fielding, and here I am.
Great. And obviously, you've worked with different sort of teams. I would say you worked for Kerala as the head coach of the state team. You worked also as a fielding coach for KKR with the women's side, with the women's national side during World Cup, before World Cup. You also worked with the Dilip Trophy winning team of South Zone. This was back in 2012, if I'm not, or 2010, if I'm not wrong.
11,
How is it changing teams every few years for you? How do you get about doing your business with such changing environments?
Like I used to take it one step at a time. Initially, when I joined Sports Authority of India, I was posted in Jamnagar in Gujarat. From there, I was posted to Kanyakumari district, where I had no history of cricket. I started coaching there. After some time, I got a transfer down to Trivandrum, and there I set up a coaching center in Medical College grounds, Trivandrum, where the coaching is absolutely free. And what happened? Like many of those guys, I'm lucky. Like these people had the talent enough, and I was lucky enough that I could mentor and groom them in such a way. They came and started playing for the state, different categories, and they started performing. So I started getting noticed. I coached all categories of state, like under 13, 14, 16, 19, 23, 25, Ranji Trophy, women, Dilip Trophy, the other trophy, and by God's grace, we won the Dilip Trophy. South won after a period of 12 years at that time. We had a very good side. We won the final. I remember it's a 5-day final. We won in 4 days outright. And then KKR, I was there as a cricket coordinator. It was wonderful to learn from the legends of the game, to sit in the same dugout with somebody like a Jack Callis and a Wasim Akram. I was trying to imitate a sponge, try to gain as much knowledge as I could from them. And I used to talk to them. I used to pester them. I used to, and I tell you, one of the best batting coaches is a player called Chris Lynn. I used to ask him, how do you prefer for T20? What is so special about your preparation for T20, white ball cricket? And I used to take notes. And I used to take it back and work with my boys. And it proved very good.
Mr. George, talking about your boys, one of the boys made it to the Indian national side, Mr. Sanju Samson. How does it feel for you to have to produce a cricketer of his capacity from Kerala, and also being the only coach from Kerala to have gone on to coach the Indian national side in the past?
Like Sanju came to me at the age of 11. I still remember a very scrawny child, very thin, but the grace and the bat flow was amazing. So we knew that he was somebody special. He was like 12 when he came into the under 14 state side. He scored a double century, a 140, then a 110, and one match he scored 86 runs. I was not with us, so there was that time there were no mobiles and all. They used to call me in the evening. I said, Sanju, what happened? Sir, tired ho gaya. Well, how come you're tired, boss? I bowled 26 overs. He wanted to be there. This boy had a spark. And at the age of 14, I somehow convinced Mr. Joy Bhattacharya, who was the CEO of KKR at that time, to give Sanju a trial. And the way Sanju batted, I was standing at square leg umpire. John Buchanan was umpiring, and he was amazing. These guys put him. I see whatever Sanju is here now, his journey started with Knight Riders. They gave him a academy contract. That even though there was no academy there, he was not 18, so he did not have a contract there. And when he reached in the 18, he was given a direct IPL contract.
Wow. Obviously, you talked about Sanju Samson when he was really young at the age of 11 when he joined you. And I'm sure there are other kids, a lot of other kids who've joined your academy. Particularly when you ask kids what do they like doing, they would say, I like batting, I like bowling. Very few kids will say outright that I love fielding. How do you inculcate this? Is it possible to inculcate the love of fielding in kids when they come to a coaching center?
Yeah. The thing is, like, how do you find out whether a guy is good in batting, bowling, or whether he's a wicket keeper? As a coach, you see, everybody comes in India. Now, when a new kid comes to you, if it's a girl, she wants to be Smriti Mandana or a Jamima Rodriguez or a Mithali Raj, all batsmen. If a boy comes, I want to be a Virat Kohli or a MS Dhoni. I said, fine. But I tell them, like, see, if you play a match, how can you contribute? As a bowler, you take wickets. As a batsman, you're going to score the runs. As a wicketkeeper, you are there. But as a fielder, you can help your friend get a wicket. And you can restrict the other batsmen from scoring runs. You are the support system which makes the team thrive. And every day in my coaching, I run a coaching in medical grounds, as I told you earlier. We have around 80 boys coming. So in 3 nights, a lot of boys are outside. So we make them sure that they go through a thorough fielding session every single day.
Absolutely. You talked about Jamima Rodriguez, Mithali Raj, and other stars of our women's game. How was it coaching them? And specifically, I would like to know more about the World Cup in 2017, where we reached the finals. We almost won the World Cup. We should have won the World Cup. There was one particular game. Yeah, there was one particular game where where the Indian side took 4 runouts from England, and I think it was one of the league games which we went on to win. How much impact do you feel? How much impact do you feel that game had on the psyche of our women in terms of giving fielding the importance that it should get in today's game?
I was with KKR at that time, and we did not qualify. We got knocked out in Bangalore, and I got a message from Professor Shetty, who was the game service manager of BCC at that time. He said, "Call me." So I called him, and he said, "Like Rahul Dravid wanted me to work with the India A side. Are you willing to go to South Africa?" I said, "Yes, sir." And he said, "In the meantime, there's a gap between the tour and now. Why don't you work with the Indian women's side?" So I went on to be with the team. My only background with women cricket was that in 2011 or 12, I was the lead coach for the under-19 Indian camp, which was held in Guntur. And girls like Smriti Mandana, Dipti, all were there at that time. So I knew these girls. So I called up Smriti and I said, "Smriti, is it a good call?" She said, "Please come. It's a wonderful side." Then I went. And Tushar Arote was the chief coach. I'm very lucky. He gave me full freedom. And he told me, like, coach, if we want to do something, we have to work on our fielding. So we had intensive and extensive sessions. And hats off to the girls, like legends like Julan Goswami, Mithali Raj. They used to come and slog it out. Slog it out in the sense, slog it out, and like no egos. They were welcoming every fielding session. And if you look at that World Cup, 2017 World Cup, we ended up with having the highest number of runouts, highest number of direct hits, highest number of catches, and the highest number of dismissal by a wicketkeeper. And in the finals, which we lost, we had only one fumble, which cost us only one run. England had three fumbles, but we lost, and it still hurts.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm sure it does, and so it does for us. And interestingly, the 2019 Women's T20 World Cup final as well, 2020. I'm sorry, also came down to fielding, and India dropped a couple of catches at the beginning of Australia's innings, and after that, we know we got hammered. But again, the difference in the two sides was clearly the fielding on that day as well.
I tell you, I want to correct that impression in the sense that it's not a question of one side being a better fielding side or the other side. See, Indian girls, if you look at their physical stature, their hand span is less. If you look at like a Poonam Yadav or a Deepti Sharma or a Poonam Raut, they are like their short limbs. But if you look at an Australian or an English girl, they'll be having bigger like arms, longer arms, and so they cover more distance, more area they can cover very easily. That makes a big difference. So for us, for a Poonam Yadav to dive and stop a ball, it takes a fraction of a second more, while a Shrubsole can just reach the ball and take it. That's the difference. But technique-wise, I'll tell you, Indian team is as good as in fielding as anybody, and we are one of the best wicket keepers in the world. Tanya Bhatti is one of the best wicket keepers in the world.
Absolutely. I think the women's side, the fielding specifically has come up leaps and bounds, and we've seen some examples of that in the last 3 or 4 years specifically. So thanks a lot for all the work done with our women's side and the other sides that you worked with over the span of your career. Obviously, Mr. Biju, the standards of fielding in the last many years across all the teams, not just the Indian team or the sides you worked with, but has really gone up. Yeah. I would like to understand, what does it take to reach there? When you start working with the team, where do you start when you start off as a fielding specialist?
It starts off being how fit you are, how good your reflexes, how good are your reflexes, what's your reaction speed, and the main thing is how much do you want as a fielder to want the ball to come to you, and how much do you believe that as a fielder you're going to give the best. So once you have the attitude as a fielder, you work on it, and taking into consideration like how good he is, whether he's a left-hander or a right-hander, how good his throw is, how good is he able to cover the distance, or is he able to, he's a quick diver, he's very agile. We find position for people. And we try to train them in such a way. Cover fielders training will be, individual training will be different than a guy who fields at mid-on or mid-off. The slip fielder will be different, as you know.
Yes, absolutely. And this is one thing that you're particularly known for. Whichever teams you worked with, you really worked on specific people for specific positions. And even in the women's national side, when you joined the team for the World Cup, you made sure that that specific fielders had specific roles. We hear about bowlers having specific bowling roles, batsmen having specific batting roles. How important do you think that aspect is, that the right person feels at the right position?
I'll give a small example. Like an off spinner bowling slow wicket, fielder fielding a point or a gully, would you rather be a right-hander or a left-hander? Or on a green wicket or a fast wicket, would you have a right-hander or a left-hander? So we train two people, like a right-hander and a left-hander for that position. And according to wicket and the type of bowler, we switch. It can be a Deepti Sharma and it can be Ekta Bist with the women, or it can be a Hemlada. We got fielders for that. And Julan Goswami can be used, like she has got one of the biggest hands in world cricket, brilliant catcher, safe catcher. She can be kept as slips or at mid-on or mid-off. Smithy and Jimmy can patrol the lines because they're very quick. They cover distance brilliantly.
And I mean, obviously, with the point that you mentioned as well. Obviously, there's been a lot of focus from the BCCI as well. With if you see zonal cricket or junior cricket and up the levels towards, I would say, the state teams, there has been must have been some focus from the BCCI on the fielding standards, and it's not happened overnight. Could you give us more insight into what's gone in to have a fielding side, both on the women's side and the men's side, at the level that it is today? It's probably the top 2 or 3 teams in the world.
I'll give you the attention to detail by BCCI is brilliant as far as women cricket is concerned. I believe Mr. Saba Karim is in charge now of women cricket, and as of now, they are having a WhatsApp group with all the players and the trainer and the now fielding coach in that group, and they're making sure that they go through the routines, whatever can be done inside the constraints. And I remember even when I was working with the Indian side as a fielding coach, I was asked to go and work with the Northeastern Zonal Cricket Academy which are beginners, because they wanted them to start with the basis getting to be the right and the perfect way.
Absolutely, absolutely. Aside, obviously, you've been associated with the women's side on the national circuit and with many India A sides and Indian under-19 sides. Aside from that, you've also been with an associate nation, which was Kuwait, for a while.
Yeah.
How was that experience, and how would you compare an associate nation to, say, the highest levels of cricket that you've seen so closely?
My Kuwait journey was like, I was asked whether I will be willing to come. I said yes. I went there, and it was like totally different. I tell you, I went there like maybe 2, 3, 4 years, 5 years back. That time the standards were so low. Cricketers were good. The cricketing standard was brilliant. But the facilities, they had a decent ground. 5:30 to 7:30 I had to train the girls, and 7:30 to night 11:30 these guys used to come and train. And they used to work all day, maybe a driver, a cab, and all. And funny thing, all the 11, the 12, 13, 14 are all Pakistani people. And I was the only Indian. But the way they took care of me, I still have like sense of peace and love when I think about them, and with the hardship they went through. I was a physio trainer, coach, everything, and my physio equipment had a bag which contained a bottle of Dettol, nothing else. We played against Oman, and still remember one guy had an injury and I had to go and request the Oman physio to come and help out. But I don't know, things might have changed by now.
Absolutely. No, I mean, I've personally had the pleasure to play against Kuwait as well. I'm not sure if you were the coach back then. We played against them in 2014 as well. And they're a very formidable side, a very attacking, aggressive side. And it was, their fielding standards have also gone up, like other associate nations. I think it's gone up quite a lot. Thanks to people like you with a lot of experience with the highest level of cricket, getting involved with associate cricket. So that is one of the reasons I would say that it's happened. So thanks a lot. Aside coming back from the associate world to BCCI and Indian cricket in general, obviously you've seen women's cricket from a deeper view than usually a viewer would have. How do you think women's cricket is coming up? How much is the depth of women's cricket today in India, if I specifically ask?
If you want to talk about the growth and depth of women cricket, you should relate it to what cricket offers to the Indian society as a large. If you look at American history, sports history, boxing and basketball was a ladder in which people would climb the social hierarchy to go. Cricket offers that. A guy from nowhere, we take a MSD, comes from Jharkhand, he comes to be the sporting icon of India. Same after the 2017 World Cup, every girl who is into cricket has a dream that she can emulate what these people are doing. And I tell you, people like Mithali Raj, Julan Goswami have been brilliant ambassadors of the game, the way they held themselves. And I still believe that they are not got a just dues. They deserve much more.
Absolutely. Now, talking more about what's to come for you. Obviously, you've been coaching for the last 30 years, I would say. But there's a lot more to look forward to for you. You'll be working, or you were supposed to work with SRH, Sunrisers Hyderabad. for 2020 IPL season. Obviously, it's not happening, at least for now. We don't know exactly when it starts. How do you keep the boys motivated? How do you keep yourself motivated as well to keep the boys motivated during this time to keep up the fitness levels?
What happened, like, we have a couple of trainers who come and volunteer to help in our group. They chart out trainings for each and every boy, and each of them follows their routine, and they post it on the WhatsApp group. And I have consistently organized webinars for them on sports psychology, how to handle pressure, all these things. And myself, I have a set routine. Like, once this lockdown started, 2 days before the routine, I set up the whole gym on my terrace top. I get up at 5:30, I start running for 1 hour, then I work for 1-2 hours, and I have a big library. I got around 600-700 books. And I use certain, then I trying to pick up something new, and I keep writing down, like, if I am the coach tomorrow of X, Y, Z, what will I do? And I keep posting questions to myself, like, this is a scenario you have to work in. So what will be this? Suppose, like, tomorrow you have to work with like guy called X. He's filling a cover. So set up drills for him now. Let's see what you can make. So I keep drawing and keep myself busy there.
Great. If you could explain maybe 1 or 2 drills for our viewers who are watching the show today, something that they can do easily at home or with the space that they would have during lockdown, it would make our viewers very happy.
I believe during this lockdown, one aspect of cricket which can suffer the most, other than like batsman facing a fast ball, is fielding, because there is no way you can catch the ball because you're locked up inside a house. So ideally what I did do with my trainees was, we purchased a lot of tennis balls, punctured a hole, tied a rope inside, and we hooked up long elastic ropes, elastic threads, and hooked it on their hand. So they can throw and it'll come back at them fast. It comes back at them and they can keep catching the ball. So if something is better than nothing, that is what I did with the boys as far as fielding is concerned. And for batting, all of these guys had something called a heavy ball, which is very used. Heavy ball is much denser and much softer. So however hard you hit it, it's not going to travel. So guys who are comfortable, even you can that next to a television, you're not going to break it.
Absolutely. Aside, Mr. Biju, what is your mantra in life? Obviously, you're someone who's well read, who's achieved so much in the sport, despite not having played the highest level of sport, and it's really inspiring. What is your mantra been in the last 30 to 35 years of you with your career?
All my life, my feeling was, how do I make the other person happy? How can I help him realize his dreams? Like, there are many people who, with a helping hand, can realize a dream. Maybe I can talk to them, maybe I can mentor them, maybe I can help them anyway. Then you have to count yourself so lucky. And I am lucky in the sense that where I coach, directly opposite is a regional cancer center and there's a pediatric ward there. So I involve myself and my trainees with the functioning of the pediatric ward. We try to support them in as many ways as we can. So all these things keep you rooted and grounded. You're lucky you're here if God cannot be here physically, He has given you can be His hand to help people. That was my motto.
Before signing off, Mr. Biju, if you could share any special memories that you had with the women national team.
I started with women cricket in July 2017. I finished my stint with them October 2019. I had a 2-year contract with BCCA basically. So the last tour was in Baroda, and we played South Africa. We won the match, and the team meeting is over, debriefing is over, and I had gone to board the bus. And a couple of girls came and called me and said, "You wandered back in the dressing room." I said, "What happened now?" I went back there, and comes Jemmy. Jemmy is like my own daughter. Like, Jemmy comes up with a photograph, with a collage of photos, with my different photos of me working with them. And behind them, each and everyone had inscribed a personal message to me. It touched my heart. I'm so thankful to BCCI and to women cricket and to players like Smithy, Jemmy, Mithu, Julu, and all these people. The way they trusted me, the way my collaboration with them helped me evolve as a better coach. And whatever I am here, I'm very much thankful to BCCI and women cricket.
I think
photo.
that's another.
Yeah.
That's the flavor that that women's team adds to cricket. I don't think usually you won't expect the boys to do that for you, but the girls, you would expect them to do gestures like this. I think that's a very special flavor that that women add to cricket in a different way. On that note, a big thank you to you, Mr. Biju, for being a part of the show, for inspiring me, and I hope our viewers are getting inspired by your honest story and obviously what you've been able to achieve in the last 30 to 35 years in the field of cricket, and a big good luck to you for your future endeavors. Thanks a lot
Thank
for
you.
being here.
Thank you.